All right, what's up, y'all? This is your girl Shanti Das, the host of the Mebo Show. I mean, episode 10, really? Hip Hop 50? Like, I am so grateful to be able to have this conversation, to live at the intersection of health and culture. It's been so many wonderful things that have been going on around Hip Hop 50. We've seen celebrations all across the nation and, quite frankly, all across the world, celebrating so much of what we love about hip hop music and culture. And today, y'all are getting ready to be blessed because my brother is on the show.
That's right.
And also someone from Johnson Johnson who is an expert on the subject matter topic of today. So I just want to get right into this and keep this conversation going. I appreciate everyone that has been subscribing to the Mebo Show. We need y'all to binge it. You know, the holidays are coming up. Tell people to binge the Mebo Show. We have some
That's right.
incredible episodes. So, we just want to get it out there more to the people and help spread the message around mental and physical health in our community, because without your health, what are we going to do? Health is wealth. And so that's why we have these conversations, so we can teach our community. So joining us first off today, we have rapper, hip hop producer, mogul, entrepreneur, voiceover extraordinaire, and my dear friend, hip hop legend, Bone Crusher. He hails from Atlanta, Georgia. He's one of the biggest artists in Southern hip hop and in hip hop, quite frankly, in my book. And he broke mainstream with the song Never Scared that you put on any day in any club, and the club will still go crazy. And he has been credited to helping shape the crunk music sound. So let's give a big Mebo Show welcome to Bone Crusher. What's up, family?
What's happening? How you feeling there, Shanti? Oh, shit.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
I told you have the most iconic voice ever. I was calling you the other day, and I just was like, I hope he's doing a lot of voiceover work, because all I hear, I think about Star Wars or one of these big thriller films. And so, yeah, you truly have been blessed from a creative perspective, my brother.
That's very humbling for you to say. I really appreciate that, Shoestrings. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. And next up, also joining us as our subject matter expert today, we have Sandeep Makkar. He is the global president of J&J's MedTech surgery business, focused on disease management and making healthcare smarter, less invasive, and more personalized. Welcome to the Mebo Show, Sandeep.
Thank you, Shanti, and good to meet you here, Bone Crusher.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too, brother. How you feeling?
Yeah, very good.
So Sandeep was saying that his kids is going to think he's cool because he never gets to meet any people from the music industry.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm loving it. So on this episode, we're going to shine a light on weight management and hip hop. We're going to talk about the importance of eating healthy, exercising, the choices that we make, choices during adversity in life and things that we deal with, and just living an overall healthier lifestyle, living the Mebo lifestyle, right, around mental and physical wellness. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. My first question is for you, Bone Crusher.
Hey.
First off, again, just congratulations on everything. It really has been an honor just to watch the trajectory of all you've been able to do. And as we say in this business, extend that life of what we do, right, as hip-hop artists and entrepreneurship and that sort of thing. And your biggest single, Never Scared, as I said, is still a big hip-hop album, a big hip-hop anthem, as you will, all over the nation and all over the country. And it's been featured on Madden and, so many other things. And I know while you were, touring at the height of your career and in Germany, you injured your knee. Mm-hmm. And subsequently that led to issues around weight management for you. Can you kind of walk us through that situation and talk to us a little bit more about what caused your mobility challenges and what led to some of the complications with you not being able to work out and so forth?
As far as, sports go. So basically damaging my joints then, right? And as I got older, I lost a lot of, ability to rehab myself naturally. So a little older, I was in my early 30s. I'm on the road out there in Germany in 2005, 6, right around there, I think it is. I performed for the troops in Stuttgart, Germany. Going crazy. I'm having a good time. As you know, Shanti, I get kind of wild on stage, and I jumped off the stage thinking I'm still, 18 years old. I hit the floor. The troops are going crazy. They're having a good time. And at the time when I hit, my knee makes this squishy sound like, I'm like, oh, I'll be all right. So after the show, adrenaline is pumping. I don't feel nothing. I get back to my room and I take a little nap. I wake up. My whole right knee is the size of a grapefruit. It's all, and I'm just starting the tour, so I got to kind of brave it out. So I got ice. I put ice on my knee and its swelling went down. I said, okay, I'm cool. Then I was walking in Frankfurt at a store and I just fell. I was like, man, that don't make no sense. So I got back up and I started back walking regular. So it was like, I didn't even think about it no more, So I got back to the house in Atlanta and I was walking into my movie theater at the time. And it's like like 2 steps walking into the, from the door into the actual, where you sit down there. And I felt it. And I was like, man, what's going on? And I got back up. I was like, oh, this is crazy. So once again, it just kind of went away. Then I woke up one day. I had played basketball the day before that because I had a basketball court in my house at the time. I had played basketball all day. I was feeling good. At the same time, I eat whatever I wanted to eat. And I think I'm invincible because, I can just go outside and work it off. I burn off 800-900 calories just playing basketball all day. So I come back in the house, I lay down, I get up, about to go to the restroom, at night, and I fell. When I fell this time, I couldn't get up. So I eventually had to go back to Europe to do another run. I went to a knee doctor, and he told me that my knee is giving out on me. It's failing me. I said, what? He said, yeah, man, you got a lot of scar tissue in there. I can give you some, shots. He gave me some cortisone shots, and it worked, right? He drained my knee. My knee had swollen up real bad. He had swollen so bad, the Baker cyst in my leg, I had a Baker cyst in my leg at the time, I guess. It had ruptured, and my whole leg was looking like I had elephantitis. So they had to drain me. I got all the fluid out. He just wanted to make sure I didn't have like gout. It was no crystals in them. That was a blessing. I didn't have gout. So he said, I can shoot you with this. It'll probably last you about, it'll go through your run, but you're going to need a knee surgery at some point. So I'm like, man, I don't need no knee surgery. Being who I am, I think I'm invincible. So I decided to not take his advice. I said, So over years, my knee gradually deteriorated so much that I got to a point where I had to be walking on a cane, right? And then, I ain't nothing going to stop me. I'm going to continue moving. So I'm just walking around the cane like it's okay. I'm like, man, whatever. I just got to do what I got to do because I'm being a man and I'm being whatever I'm being. And I'm trying to figure out how to still make this lifestyle and keep my lights on and all that. So I'm not thinking about getting no knee surgery. So fast forward to 2020, right before COVID, I met with a guy, an herbalist through Jazzy Faye, and he was like, yo, Bone, man, I got a way I can help you with your knee. I said, cool. He said, you got to come down here to Dallas. So we flew down to Dallas. But before we did that, I did a whole holistic cleansing thing. I did chaparral teas, sea moss. I did all kinds of stuff. And I detoxed for a whole month. I ate nothing but raw vegetables. I drank nothing but raw everything. Water. I drank gallons and gallons of water. As you know, if you do that, you go to the bathroom. So I was going to the bathroom 3-4 times a day. And in a month, I lost like 40 pounds just off the herbalist telling me I had to eat just raw. So I eat nothing raw, no cooked foods, no nothing. So, that part for me really helped me out, kind of like understanding what it means to kind of take care of my body after my knee went crazy on me.
Well, let me ask you, and thank you for sharing that and being so open and transparent. Can I ask you how much weight did you gain after you weren't able to work out and so forth? Roughly?
Probably about 70 pounds. And I didn't realize it. I was eating a lot of, inflammatory foods. I realized chicken was bad for me. I stopped eating chicken. I stopped eating beef. I stopped eating pork. So that helped me get rid of the inflammation in my body. So I had lost a lot of inflammation, and it made me look a lot smaller than I really was as far as weight, because I stopped eating certain types of inflammatory foods. So I stopped all that, and I had lost at that point from 485 to 435. And I was like, oh man, I felt a lot better at that point. And the crazy part about it was that I didn't really feel bad at 485 because I got so used to being bone crusher. You know what I'm saying to you? I never really felt like people like, man, how you feel? I was like, I didn't feel no difference, really. You know, I went to the doctor. I will always get physicals like I always do. Doctor say, hey, man, for a guy your size, I cannot believe it. Your cholesterol's not high. You don't have diabetes. You don't have this. You don't have that. You don't have no cancer. I am very shocked. I say, man, let me tell you something about me, dog. I'm not human. I'm real. I'm being me, talking to the doctor. He's like, well, you know, if you lost a little bit more weight, your knee will feel better. I said, all right. So realistically, I never felt like most people think they're supposed to feel when they that big, right?
Yeah.
I never felt like my heart was hurting. I felt off. My liver was going bad. My kidneys. I never felt that, right? So it was a silent killer for me, right? I never really understood that if I would have kept going that path, probably would have started feeling it at the wrong time in my life.
So I want to bring Sandeep into the conversation now. And so, you know, thank you for sharing your story and being so vulnerable, Bone Crusher. We know that a lot of your weight loss was a result of an unfortunate injury to your knee. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, Sandeep. But first, I want you to talk about just, you know, the epidemic with weight management and obesity being one of the greatest challenges, I think, in the 21st century, you know, especially amongst people of color. And what are the risk factors you think, particularly facing Black and brown communities, when it comes to obesity and weight management? And then I want to talk a little bit more specifically about Bone Crusher's situation when it is a result, you know, of an injury. But then I don't think people realize when things like that happen, when you are so immobile, what that can do to you, right?
Yeah. First of all, Bone Crusher, it's just, again, thanks for keeping it real. And sorry you have to go through all of this. You know, in your case, it was due to injury, but there's so many other factors. And it's just obesity in general is just, it's just a growing epidemic. It's threatening the health of millions. I've lived in so many countries now, and no matter where I go in the world, you know, it's not changing. But, and, you know, until recently, unfortunately, you know, the public, educators, healthcare professionals, they just look at obesity as a matter of like, oh, it's poor choices in life, you know. But the reality we know is there's genetic risk, there's environmental risk, and there's circumstances like yours, you know, like in your case was an injury. And they're all risk factors, but people just think it's just poor choices, right? And today, it's no longer, I think it's changing, no longer considered just a cosmetic issue. You know, well, you're overeating, or there's this lack of self-control, and that's why, you know, you're getting this obese situation here. The World Health Organization, the many national bodies, international medical scientific societies, they're all now recognizing obesity as a chronic progressive disease, you know, and it's from, like I said, multiple factors. But I think it's just a stigma, you know, this that we carry as a society that's still there. And Shanti, you just asked, you know, for call it the, you know, the Black community or the people of color community, it is even far worse. It is far worse because if I think about Black adults, 50% of them have obesity, multiple reasons, but they have obesity. And I really feel for the Black American, you know, women, because 4 out of 5, think about it, 80% of them are overweight or have obesity, you know. And I also feel for the kids, you know, you Bone Crusher, you know, when you were young, you know, you were active, you were doing things and all that. At least, you know, for you, it caught up. For you, it was more the injury that made it happen. But, you know, today, when I look at kids, the rate of obesity in Black children, it's just increased dramatically. You know, when I was a kid, you know, 30 decades or whatever ago, you know, we had only 7-8% of Black children obese. Today, the number is closer to 30%. And it's just,
you know,
so
what
many
so
factors.
interesting I'm sorry. I was just going to say to what you were saying, Sandeep, and I'll let you go back and finish your thought. But like, so many of us live in food deserts. And I had done some work with the American Heart Association. You know, anytime you see a new fast food restaurant, you're not going to see a Whole Foods necessarily coming up, you know, in the neighborhoods where I grew up in. And I think there's a lot of socioeconomic reasons that can lead to that too. I just thought that was important to add.
It's a lack of what's the name in public schools,
absolutely.
Too.
You know, absolutely.
In school, we had physical education when I was in school. I would do 100 jumping jacks.
Yep.
Run around for a quarter mile. Then we start working out. Then we do PE. They don't have PE no more in schools. It's becoming a situation where it's destroying our inner youth and our inner community because of that. You know? And to Shanti's point, we have, you know, this is America, man. You know, it's hard to not overeat when every other commercial is about food. And it's hard for people to deny food. You know, it's food everywhere here. Like other European countries and other countries, it's not as accessible to eat as much as you can here in America. I think that has a lot to do with our community as well, because, man, like she says, it's McDonald's on every corner, Burger King on every corner. There's a Subway right down the street. Like if I leave my room right now, I get the food before I can get to water, right? And that's just part of it.
So true.
You know, the part that we as a...
And the thing is cheaper too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you get by some...
It's cheaper too. Like finding whole food versus a McDonald's food or any other fast food, as a matter of fact. I mean, it's easy access, it's everywhere, and it's cheaper. So there's no incentive for you to spend more money and travel 5 miles or 6 miles to find healthy food, right? And then there's affordable housing situation, you know, there's disparity, even safe places, as a matter of fact, to be physically active. Right? You live in certain communities, you have access to gyms and all of that. You know, you can stay active and do all of that. And there are other places where you cannot. And in my city here in Cincinnati, Shanti and Born, like where you live, in what neighborhood you live, your average life expectancy of residents can vary almost 20 years.
Right.
Wow.
It's crazy to think, right? In America, where you live, you could be living and you could be living 20 years longer, and you could just be like 5 miles away. It's because all these choices, and they just add up, you know. And the issue with obesity is that it's just not obesity, because now you're bringing along health problems. You have diabetes that comes along, you have heart disease that comes along, you have higher risk of stroke that comes along, you have arthritis that comes along, even kinds of cancers. You're not sleeping well. You have ovarian issues, you have kidney issues, and think about the population that in the first place could not afford or get access to good food. How are they going to spend that kind of money managing so many conditions on healthcare?
Right.
It's just crazy to think, right? So, which is, you know, and this is a Meebo show, Shanti, and I'll tell you that health. You know, we talk physical health all the time. Mental health, you know, obesity related, you know, that lack of self-esteem that comes with it, you know, that you get into depression, all of that comes along with it, right? And the quality of life.
Yeah.
So anyway, so those are so many factors that are affecting right now that I wish, you know, we are doing things about it, but so much needs to be done.
Thank you, Sandeep, for sharing that. It really is. And, you know, like for me and my family, high blood pressure is prevalent. Heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, you know, all of that. And again, you know, growing up in America, you know, it was okay to go back for seconds and thirds. And, you know, nobody talked to us about watching your calorie count and portion control. And to what Bone Crusher was saying, when I do go into other countries sometimes, you know, even in the grocery stores, they'll have a package of meat with 2 pieces of meat, as opposed to a meat with 10 to 12 pieces of meat in it. You know, I feel like we overdo it when it comes to food and to health and wellness. And so I wanted to go back to you, Bone Crusher. Like, what was a turning point for you? Like, for me, I had to have my gallbladder removed 2 years ago.
Wow.
And it was, you know, and that's a fairly common, you know, thing that happens when people have their gallbladder removed.
Right.
But I got really, really sick. And I'll be honest, I was cooking with a lot of butter.
Right.
I was eating a lot of, crawfish balls and low country balls. Those are my favorite. And I wasn't really working out properly. And I'm short. I'm like 5'1", but I am considered, if you consider me based on what, the doctors or the medical community considers obese, I am obese for my size. I'm way more than I should be weighing. I weigh like right around probably 163 pounds. I probably should be weighing more like 135, 140. But I lost a lot of weight when I had to prepare for my surgery. And then, of course, I've gained a little bit of it back. But that was a turning point for me to kind of just look at food differently and to look at health and weight management. So, like, talk to us a little bit more about, what that turning point was for you. And I know you said you did a lot of things holistically. You dropped 40 pounds. Like, can you walk us through a little bit more of that?
The thing for me was I never really had a medical emergency. I've always been trying to search for the answer to what it
Gotcha.
like for me to be the size that I feel was comfortable for me or for my health or whatever. I never really had, like I said before, I never had a diabetes scare. I never really had,
Right.
at that point, I never really had anything going on with me, right? So I always been looking for the answer. Me and my girl's story, we've always ate healthy enough. Always made sure we had vegetables, fruit, water all the time. I stay away from drugs, synthetic drugs. I stay away from alcohol. It keeps the skin looking good. It keeps the body looking good. It keeps everything looking good. So I made sure I made a conscious effort to never do that, right? Even when I was a kid, I used to watch people do drugs in my neighborhood, watch my parents and my cousin them over drink and from my friends. I was like, man, I don't want to do that. I ain't doing that ever, right? So
Good for you.
it helped me, right? It helped me. So as I got older, the turning point for me was, like I said before, I have been trying so many different diet plans. I have been trying so many things. Eat right for your blood type. This thing, South Beach diet. This stuff. It really worked for me. Because at the end of the day, it's all about my physical makeup and what my DNA says for me. What's different for you, Shanti? What's different for Sandeep? It's totally different, right? So when I finally, I kind of started it, but I kind of stepped ahead of myself. I finally started when losing weight and inflammation, when I really started going vegetarian. And I was totally raw. I went raw. I mean, talking about
Wow.
30 days. In those 30 days, I did no exercising because once again, my knee is destroyed. So I did all I ate, vegetables, fruit, water, and drunk chaparral tea and drunk sea moss every day for 30 days, right? And it was hell at first, right? I got headaches in the beginning because, your body is used to eating meat. Your body is eating whatever's inside of the meat, right? And that part for me was very difficult at first. But wanting the answer really wasn't that difficult, right? I just kept eating food. I just kept eating. So you can't really gain fat if there's no fat there. So I just kept eating vegetables and fruit every day and drinking a lot of water. That's all I did all day, just eat all day. And I noticed that my face started shrinking, my neck started shrinking, right? My shoulders started shrinking. Everything started shrinking, right? And I was not losing a whole bunch of weight. It was just the inflammation that had me swollen. Right? So I learned that I can't eat chicken. It destroys me. I learned that I can't eat red meat all the time. It destroys me. I know that I can't eat pork. That really kills me. So I kind of stayed away from certain types of protein in order for me to kind of shrink, right? And I've been on that since then. That was in 2019, going into 2020. Like COVID. So when COVID hit, for me, that's when I went to Dallas, Texas. When I went to Dallas, Texas with the herbalist, he introduced me to a guy named Dr. Kelly, who passed with COVID. Man, such a good guy. But he introduced me to the hyperbaric chamber. And I went in the hyperbaric chamber every day for 30 days. And all I did was sitting there, and it reversed all my cells. So I'm getting the same treatment that professional athletes are getting. So I'm going in every day with some of the best athletes in the world. I'm waiting in line with them. We shooting the jump, talking crazy to each other. Well, I'm waiting in line with them to go in the hyperbaric chamber for 90 minutes every day, right? And I get stretched.
Wow.
And I get worked out every day. You know, it's like a total thing for me, right? And I've never experienced this before. So as he's stretching me, stretching my knees, stretching my leg, giving me acupuncture, all that, I'm receiving all this. And it's like mind-boggling to me, right? And I'm losing weight this whole time. I went from 485 to 370 pounds in like a year.
Wow.
Right. So
Wow.
that process was amazing, right? I did that for 30 days with Dr. Kelly, once again, one of the greatest guys ever. Then I went straight to this guy.
Hey, Bone, mentally, how did it make you feel?
Oh, I felt, that made me feel good though. Like the hyperbaric chamber, every time I got out, I felt like $1 million. I used to have this like bruise on my leg from my Baker cyst.
Mm-hmm.
That changed, that hyperbaric chamber reversed my cells and took away all that blackness. I used to have like black spots on my face. It got rid of.
Oh, wow. Are you serious?
Yeah, man, I used to have all kinds of stuff. Like, once you get inflamed, all kinds of stuff start happening to your skin, right? So all that got away, as you can see, I've shrunk and I'm down, like, and that's contributed to that type of healthy regimen. And a lot of people, to your point, Shanti, a lot of our people are not privy to being able to be in that type of $1 million type treatment. That treatment I went to is millions of dollars to some of these pro athletes. That's why they look so good. That's why they look in shape. That's why they can recover real fast, because they got the right kind of doctors doing the right kind of things in order for them to be, and the right kind of trainer. And my trainer is one of the greatest trainers in the world. His name is Igor. He's from Dallas. He trains the Cowboys, the San Francisco 49ers, UFC fighters. And he has this way of working out a lymphatic system. For me, with my knee being bad, I worked out on a trampoline every day for a year, right?
Wow.
I went from not being able to work out for 2 minutes to working out for an hour straight, no break, no drinking water, no nothing, right? I work out right before Michael Irvin works out. So we on the same trainer. So we working out every day like that. I'm every day working out like that. So it's kind of me. I mean, I couldn't even do a sit-up. I can do over 1,000 sit-ups straight right now. Right now.
Wow.
Try me.
That's crazy.
Okay.
I got Igor got me to a place where I could even, he used to have these ropes. I'll show you the video, Shanti. He used to have these ropes where he would hold me a little bit. Yeah, I'd be like, I would do like, I couldn't do 2 or 3 of them, right? I didn't realize I was that out of shape because once again, I didn't realize I was out of shape because I didn't feel muddy. You know what I mean? It was like I didn't feel weird. So he would work me out with the ropes. I do the rope, I went from 1 minute on that, so I could do it almost 20 minutes now straight, right?
That's impressive.
And even with all that working out and getting in shape and all that, I still couldn't walk, right? It was like, I lost all that weight, all that inflammation. And luckily for me, Dr. Kelly turned me on to a guy named Dr. Sadat El-Amin, who's in Atlanta, right? One of the greatest stem cell doctors in the world, right? And he devised a plan for me. He said, Bone, I'm going to take care of you. These stem cells are going to help your knee until we can get to a place where we can eventually have to give you a knee replacement, but this is going to help your mobility, right? I said, cool, whatever, I'm down for whatever. I'll try everything. So he gave me the first stem cell shot I ever got, and I eventually got to a space, and he gave me this brace that I have, and the brace keeps my knee aligned, and it keeps everything where I can walk. So now I can walk, load bearing. Sorry, my girl chimed in. Load bearing brace.
Okay.
That I wear now, that I wear every day I walk. I can walk without a cane now.
Good.
I can walk. Like when you saw me at the Falcons game, they told me to get in the chair. My doctor was with me. He said, get in the chair, Bone. I said, all right. I had just got some stem cell shots. And stem cells, it swells up the area because it's trying to fix something. And it made my knee very tight. He said, man, just get in the chair. You can't, he said, don't worry about it. Just get in the chair. I was like, oh, man, I don't want to see me walk into this chair because I can walk now. He said, man, just get in the chair. Don't worry about it. I said, cool. So I got in the chair. And, for me, man, my journey for health is still ongoing. I still got 100 pounds to lose, right? I'm still at it, and I'm still trying to figure it out, right? I think that's what most people are doing. That's what Shanti's trying to do. I think even with Sandeep, he may not think he's in the right size he's supposed to be, right? Everybody thinks that their size is not the right size because they keep wanting to get themselves better and better. And I think that's the way to be, because you have to find the answers for your health as you get older. And as I got older, as I'm getting older, I'm 50-some years old. I'm 52 years old, actually. I'm in a better shape than I've been since I was in high school. But
I'm proud of you.
Hey, man, I appreciate it.
I know it's an ongoing journey. I know you've been through a lot. I know it's not easy. And what you said is so important. It is an individual journey, right? Because we all have different things within ourselves that, we want to better. That's why I do the Mevo show, so that we can hopefully inspire communities, right? So we can have healthier outcomes and longer life expectancies. And going back to you, Sandeep, that's what you do. You try to inspire communities, and the work that you're doing with Johnson Johnson, to help these members of the community with the weight management issues. Can you tell us a little bit more about specifically what are some of the things Johnson Johnson is doing around weight management?
For us as Johnson Johnson, we're the largest healthcare company in the world, and being large means it comes with a sense of responsibility. Because the problem of weight management or obesity is just so big and complex, and it's so personal because of the circumstances. It's so personalized as well that no one, medtech, pharma, communities alone, or governments or insurance companies, no one can do it alone. So, so the first order of business is making sure you raise enough awareness and you partner. So that's one. And for us, my division is MedTech within Johnson Johnson. So we partner very actively with clinical societies, scientists, experts from over 50 countries. And we are looking for, the role of different obesity treatment options. Because as a patient, born, like in your case, you needed choice, you need diet is one piece of it, exercise is one piece of it, medication is one piece of it, surgery is one piece of it. And so we just want to make sure that the patients have choice, but that choice is also grounded in science, right? Because you don't just want to go to someone or do something that you don't know what the outcome is going to be. So the last 20 years or so, we've led a lot of these efforts to advance the science. In my case, the surgery, like my field is on the field of surgery, and the science of obesity treatment. And in fact, studies have shown that for patients that, they will lose 66 to 80% of the excess body weight with things like gastric bypass procedure. So if they're going through those kind of options, you lose that much. And then there are also other options, right? And it's not only just losing that, but also how do you improve mental health? Even treat things like type 2 diabetes, hypertension, low back pain. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you experienced that, Born, but even low back pain, chronic kidney diseases, and some people cannot sleep. It also helps with that. What's not very well understood is that take diabetes, for example, because that seems to be the very common thing that affects people with weight. That long-term diabetes remission rates are above 80% with bypass surgery. People get bypass surgery and you have diabetes that goes away about 80% of the times. But and it improves not a year or 2 years after surgery, within days of surgery. I think it's options that people need to be aware, and there needs to be less stigma around this. It's not because someone cannot control or is out of control. It's just so many factors that go along with it, and that's what we are doing as J&J, is to drive that level of awareness in all stakeholders, form partnerships, form coalitions, drive science, behind it and make sure that our patients and communities have choices.
Thank you, Sandeep. I appreciate that. It is definitely an individual journey, and it's about choices, whether surgery works for you or you want to go the traditional route of diet and exercise, or, we won't get into it today. I know it's a lot of other weight loss drugs out there now and different things going on. So you got to figure out what works for you. But the important thing is that you have choices, as Sandeep said, and you have resources. And I only have a couple of questions left for you both. I appreciate you, Bone and Sandeep, for taking time out of your incredibly busy schedules to join the Mebo Show. We are celebrating, hip hop culture and hip hop 50. And sometimes the lifestyle can be tough in hip hop as well as other industries. You're on the road all the time. You're doing shows. Sometimes you may not have time to properly eat. Certain artists may not have the money to have a chef on the road or different things. So you're trying to get a quick bite when you can. But I do think that, more hip hop artists are more health conscious these days, and more producers and folks in the public eye. They're trying to eat better, being more physically fit. Bone, do you have any people that are inspiring you right now in the culture from a health perspective, or anybody that you've kind of seen, really take control of their physical wellness?
You know what? Who really inspired me a lot? There's a few of them, right? Jake Farrell's one of them. Timberland is another. There's a lot of guys in hip hop right now, even females. Missy Elliott is really.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that understand that longevity of life is based upon your health. Multi-billionaire. Look at the passing of Steve Jobs. He's all the money in the world, but he can't survive because of his health, right? And it's like he would trade every dollar he had for the health, right? And that's what people don't get. And I ask people all the time, I'd rather have the health than the money. They're like, man, I want the money. I said, well, I tell you what, I give you $1 billion. If you can count to 500, holding your breath, we'll see how long you want that $1 billion, right? You put up the breath, because you can't live without, being able to breathe correctly.
Right.
Your lungs got to be right. Your liver got to be right. Your pancreas got to be right. Everything has to be right. Your colon, I ask people all the time, man, for me, I watch it Missy and I'm watching Timberland. I said, man, those guys going to the bathroom probably 2-3 times a day. How many times you go to the bathroom? Right? They're like, man, what are you talking about? Man, I go, when I go, I said, bro, you don't realize your colon is where all your health is. Your colon is bad, you in trouble, right? You got to get that stuff out of you as quickly as possible. That's why you got to eat a lot of roughage, a lot of vegetables, drink a lot of water. So I look at Missy, I look at Timberland, I look at my guy, Jake Farrell, my family, and I'm watching these guys maintain their health by understanding the limitations of what they have to do to keep that health correct. Of course, I might eat a little bad every once in a while because I'm in America and we can't help it, because I'm looking out the window right now and it's like 4 things I want to eat. I'm just, it's all a part of it. But at the end of the day, I'm going to before I go do all that, I'm going to do my 100, 200 sit-ups before I get out of here. I got the phone with you, I'm going to go do my 200 sit-ups, and I'm going to go out here and probably go eat something terrible. But for dinner, I'm going to have a salad. True food is our friend. When I'm on the road, I eat true food all the time. I eat a lot of.
I love true food.
Right, I eat that. We eat that all the time. Story and I eat true food 3-4 times a week. Yeah, they know it's in all true foods all over the country. Where you guys been? We was in New York. New York? But you guys live in California? No, we just here all the time. So, it's just we eat at certain places. And to Sandeep's point of view, if you understand the rules and regulations of what you're eating, you can find what it is you're looking for. You just have to know the tools and tactics to get there, right? Right next to the McDonald's is a True Food, right? And I go from the True Food but most people don't know that they should go eat there because the ignorance of it, right? You just don't know. You're not dumb to it. You're not stupid to it. You just don't know that you can eat the same burger there with less inflammation characters in it than you would if you were to eat a burger at Burger King. So for me, that's what I do. I eat at certain places. I eat here, I eat there, I eat there. So I'm just watching some of my peers, some of my friends, even you, Shanti, and watching you guys eat a certain way and watching me eat a certain way. And, we are all influenced by each other. And
Absolutely.
that influences me looking at them and they looking at me like, hey, Bone, man, you looking good, man, blah, blah, blah. I say, yeah, bro, what you doing? And we just talking, right? And that helps. Communication helps. Shows like this, the Meebo show, it's imperative for our community because we have to make sure that we give the right information because there's so much misinformation out there. We give the right information so our people can thrive for a healthier life. And, we don't have to deal with our kids being obese at 19. Like, that don't make no sense. At 19 years old, man, I had a six-pack.
That's right.
18 years old, I had a six-pack, but I grew up in a physical education lifestyle because I had it in elementary school. We had recess. When I was down ball, we played softball. We played
dodgeball.
So we run it. We don't realize we're getting in shape, right? And we didn't care about a lot of things then that we do now, right? We don't care about the perception of how we look and all that because we didn't have a camera in our face. A lot of things that's playing a toll of what's happening with our community. But I think that physical education is what the main key to what has been destroying our youth to this day. No more PE in elementary school, no more PE in high school. That's really attributing to what the problem is in our community. Because if our kids know that you have to work out, you got to go outside, you can't be on your computer all day,
right?
You can't be playing video games all day. You got to go outside and do something. Like these guys are little, but they're not in shape, right? They just in shape. They appear to be in shape because they're all on synthetic drugs. That's a whole other conversation.
Bon, I heard your comment around kids, and that if they're not as active as they used to be before, they're making wrong eating choices. And so it's no surprise, right? I mean, back in the days when we were kids, you didn't see, kids that had weight issues. Now you have 30% or so kids that have weight issues, right? And also talking about, I heard you say communities and information. There's a lack of information out there that is, science driven and all of that too, right? So in terms of resources, I just want to mention here that we launched, Shanti, a big initiative, wellness initiative called My Health Can't Wait. And it really provides this access to health information and support for patients and caregivers in communities of color. So if you go to myhealthcan'twait.com, there's this entire section of obesity resources. There's in fact a video of a roundtable discussion that was facilitated by Khalia Ali. That was the daughter of the boxing legend Muhammad Ali. And she's been on her own weight journey, since childhood. So she sat down with a couple of women to discuss their personal struggles and their success and fight there as well. So it's worth checking it out. And there's so many things we can do, to drive this level of awareness. But it's so personal. I think communities have to own it, parents have to own it, schools have to own it. Everyone needs to own it.
Yes, we do. Y'all heard that. That's a good resource. My Health Can't Wait. Make sure y'all go check all of that out. So, again, as we get ready to close out, I want to know, Bone Crusher, what is your call to action for BIPOC communities, the hip-hop community, everybody around weight management? What do we need to be doing?
I just think we need information. I think that people are now a little bit more open to what it feels like to be a little bit more healthy.
Mm-hmm.
That information a lot of times is not necessarily being held away from us. It's more like just not knowing where to go get it, right?
Yeah.
That's the call of action, I think, for our community, is that we have to start seeking correct knowledge of the right things that help us find the correct answer. There are answers available for problems. A lot of people don't want the answer, the quick answer. Quick answer is, hey man, I'm gonna tell you what you need to do. Stop eating inflammatory food. Stop drinking all that beer and liquor. Stop smoking weed. Stop doing synthetic drugs. And I guarantee you, you will have a better life. No, Bone, man. I can't stop eating these pork chops. No, I can't. Man, there's another way. There's another way. I got to eat my hamburgers. Well, okay, you can take this pill. You can take these shots, but you're still going to feel bad, but you better make it through. Bet. Give me the shots and the pills, right? Most times I think in our community, in any community, people don't really understand the short answer. The short answer is very simple. Work out, drink a lot of water, go to the bathroom, eat the right kind of food. Short answer, right? They don't want that. That's why doctors are very rich, because most people do not want the short answer, right? And the answer to the question is very simple. I think that people need to find the right information that's out there. I think people need to learn the short answer, which is stop eating bad, drink more water, and you'll feel better. That's the short answer. Work out 30 minutes a day. I'll just ask 30 minutes. 15 minutes if you're a little too big. Just work out. It isn't hard. It's
go for a walk. Take a walk. I walk.
Yeah, take a walk. And you got 2 good legs. And don't let a guy with 1 bad leg, actually my second leg is going bad on me now too. Don't let a guy with 2 bad legs teach you, right? And that's the key, I felt like, for me, I was motivating people in the gym when I was working out with Igor. They was like, no way, this guy that can't walk is out working out me, and I'm a professional ball player. So
yeah,
go hard, we just go hard in the paint, and I think that's the key, man. Find a person that motivates you. Find the right person that motivates you, the right information that motivates you.
Yeah.
And that's the answer to the question that you've probably been trying to solve for your whole life.
So, Sandeep,
I'm here.
What's your call to action for BIPOC communities and the hip-hop community around weight management?
So I think it's really taking ownership, like Bowen said. It's taking ownership of your own health, and also from a community standpoint, making sure that we're driving the right level of awareness, knowing where to find resources, finding help in a timely manner, not being afraid, actually, to seek help, because not treating it as your own personal disease and a stigma, but having the courage to seek help and finding the right resources, and which is what I was saying, that, this site that we've created, especially for communities of color, which is My Health Can't Wait. There are a lot of resources there, but there are other places as well. So it comes down to that, it's really holding each other's hands to kind of make sure that we're living healthier lives, both physical and mental.
I love that. And I would say holding each other accountable, right? Whether it is your loved one, your family, your friends, your teammates, your, colleagues in music or at Johnson Johnson or whatever, we got to hold each other accountable in this wellness journey. My little bit of advice is getting folks to take that journey with you so that we have accountability partners and we can do this together and that we can live healthier lives and have healthier outcomes. And so this has been such an inspiring episode. And Bone Crusher, I'm so grateful to you, my friend, for I know how busy you are, taking time out of your busy schedule for being here. Last thing I got to ask you, brother, when did you first fall in love with hip hop?
And you probably fell in love.
Yes, I was there.
I know. Rest Omni, Run DMC, LL Cool J, Houdini. That's when I understood my love for something that I didn't know was coming, that I didn't know. It's like finding your girlfriend that you never saw. He's like, man, I found this girl arbitrarily at a baseball game, right? And that's why I found hip hop. That's why I found my love of hip hop arbitrarily at the Omni, downtown Atlanta, at Fresh Fest. And I was breakdancing, man. I just remember the whole culture, and I fell in love with the whole culture of hip hop. 1984, I remember it so vividly. It was like, God, I can remember it. Now I can smell the Omni. They took the whole floor up. It was all cement, remember?
It was, that's right.
People were breakdancing, people like pop locking, and Run DMC had the whole place going crazy. This is my first experience of being in a actual concert, a real concert, right? And it's like, for me, that was my first love of it, right? And I understood that I didn't understand what I was feeling at that moment, right? I never knew, and you probably didn't either, Shanti. The love of it goes deeper than money, because I didn't know how to make any money at it. I only fell in love with it because of the feeling that it gave me, and the joy that I could see people's spaces that were around me that was
That's right.
same sonic energy. And that was my first love of understanding of what hip hop was. At the middle stage, I think the Chomsky love went on too with the Pee Wee Herman. It was you took me back with that question. Well, I did everything. I did everything hip hop. I was a DJ. I still, I drew the graffiti logo for JD for So Def, right?
No, wait, you made the So Def logo?
I made the graffiti logo. Skip did the Afro Man.
Oh, okay.
I did the jackets he had. They had Social Def on the back.
Huh.
I designed that jacket. Yeah. Lil Jon brought me to Social Def on Piedmont. Sandeep, we finna go to Atlanta. Shawty don't talking about here. So, Lil Jon brought me to Social Def in Atlanta with JD, right? And he was like, yo, we just hanging out in the office. And I was drawing one day downstairs in the conference room. Remember downstairs in the conference room?
Yep.
I just drew So Def in that font. And JD just happened to walk in, him and Crisscross. They walked in. He was like, yo, BC, that's it. I said, what's it? He said, that. I want that right there. I said, you want that? He was like, yeah, man, I want to put it on a jacket. I said, cool, let's do it, right? So I would just stay in the office and draw. First time I met Brat, that's back when Brat used to wear clothes like way too big. She had the big afro. Remember she had a big afro? She was walking through the studio, up into the office. I was like, yo, what's up? She said, what's up? What's up? What's your name? I said, I'm Bone Crusher. She said, I'm Brat from Chicago. I said, oh, okay, what's up? And that's the first time I met Brat.
That's amazing.
Right? So it's like Atlanta hip hop history, right? That part I did. I used to break dance. I used to draw. I used to do all that. I used to moss and break dancing, windmilling, 360s, spin around on my knees, all that. That's probably on my knees now. Break dance. And broke everything.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing. And Sandeep, we were asking the question of when did you realize it was a cool genre of music, and do you have any favorite artists in hip hop?
Yeah, so for me, to be honest, due to my background, because I grew up in India and kind of moved around all over the world, I was, I was exposed to hip hop much later in life, and believe it or not, through my kids,
Right.
And I was just fascinated, by how much of this spark it just created in them. How much energy it brought to them, how, the eyes would just light up, and it just brought their friends together, that community for them together. So we are, as parents, you're like, oh, wow, what is this? So, and now we have like Drake, we have Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole playing in the family car, and off season going in the background there. And I have so much to learn, frankly, about the diversity, even in hip hop music. I got to learn about crunk, the southern hip hop, the boom bap, and just all of that. And I also heard, by the way, that there's a category like called nerdcore, and so it seems Alfred Wrighton, for the nerdcore category, whatever that category is. But anyway, so I cannot tell you how excited I am just to be with you. It's not very often I get to hang around with people from the music industry, and that too from hip hop. So I cannot tell you, like, my family and I are just so jazzed up and so rocked by just being here with you.
Oh, well, thank you, Sandeep, and thank you, Bone Crusher, for being on episode 10. As we get ready to, start closing out season 1, it has been such a pleasure. We're going to have a couple bonus episodes that'll be out, and then we'll get ready in Q1 for season 2. But you guys are awesome. You have provided so many resources. Again, we want to encourage you to, share this podcast episode with your family members, with your friends. It's really important. It's important information on here that we all need to know, because, again, your health is your wealth. And we do want to make sure that, going into 2024, when we set all of our goals, that we don't just get on those lose weight quick schemes, that we really look at it as a lifestyle. And we choose the Meebo lifestyle where we focus on mind and body health. Thank you again, Bone Crusher. Thank you, Sandeep. Please listen, rate, and subscribe to the Mebo Show podcast. It's available on YouTube and all audio podcast platforms. So again, share it with your friends and family. And again, next time you get ready to eat that burger, I'm not saying, you can't have a burger every now and then, but it's about healthier choices, right? Sometimes you might want to have the burger without the bun. I do that when I go to True Food. I don't always have the buns. And so, listen to all the great things that Bone Crusher and Sandeep had to say, and take this information back into your community. So thank you again, and God bless.